Hey, welcome back to another episode of Encourage and Empower. This is a place where we dive into practical ways to cultivate a healthy lifestyle. I'm Kate, and I'm so glad that you're here. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to navigate the holiday season with healthy and balanced eating habits. The holidays can bring both joy and challenges, especially when it comes to food. From endless parties to tempting treats, it's easy to feel pressure to overindulge or just to mindlessly eat. So today, I want to set us up for success ahead of time with practical strategies to not only enjoy the season without guilt, but we're also going to discuss how to confidently stick to your goals without feeling awkward or pressured. Later on, we're going to look at a biblical perspective on what having self-control means and what the Bible says about gluttony, and how to take the time to celebrate and enjoy traditions without having regret. So let's get started. Okay, first, let's acknowledge the reality. The holidays can be a whirlwind of gatherings where food is the centerpiece. I've heard people say, baking is my love language, and now all of a sudden, turning down a cinnamon roll is a personal rejection to your great Aunt Sue. I think we've all experienced the pressure to try every dish, to accept seconds, or to finish the dessert that someone baked just for you. This pressure is real, and if you're not aware of it and prepared, oftentimes it can lead to overconsumption and regret. So how do we handle situations like this with grace and with confidence? If you're a recovering people pleaser like I am, saying no to food can sometimes feel uncomfortable, especially when someone works really hard to prepare it or if they insist that you just have to try it. So here are a few kind and confident ways to politely decline that you can just keep in your back pocket. You could say, "Thank you, that looks delicious. I'm just really full right now, but I'm going to save room for later." Or, "Hey, I appreciate it, but I'm trying to save some space for my favorite dishes." Or you could even let them know that you have a different focus this year and say something like, "That looks amazing, but I'm really focused on feeling good this season, so thank you. I'm going to have to pass this time." And if you're going to a potluck, bring a dish that you feel good about eating. That way, you know that there's something on the table that aligns with your goals. Remember, you're not being rude by saying no. You're taking care of your body, and that is something worth respecting. It's also important to remember that consistency during the holidays doesn't mean perfection. It means being intentional and aware of your choices, even when things feel out of your control. So here's a good way to approach it. Set your priorities before the event. Decide in advance what matters most to you. Is it enjoying the pumpkin pie? Great. Is it sticking to your portion sizes? Awesome. When you're clear on your goals ahead of time, it's easier to make decisions in the moment. You're going to want to shift your focus away from food. So remind yourself that the holidays are about connection and relationship, not just consumption. Focus on the conversations going on around you, playing games, or even helping the host. When you're engaged in the moment, food becomes less of a focal point. Give yourself permission to pause. Before you grab another plate or dessert, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I really hungry? Do I really want this? Or am I eating out of a habit or out of pressure? This small pause can help you make a decision that you're going to feel good about later. Okay, lastly, have an accountability partner. Share your goals with someone that you know and you trust. They can encourage you to stick to your intentions and celebrate your wins with you. You want to be confident in your actions, and confidence comes from knowing your why. Why are you making healthier choices? Is it to feel better? Have more energy? Honor the body that God gave you? Whatever that why is, keep it at the forefront of your mind. This can help you navigate any awkwardness and overcome temptations to binge. Remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing what's best for you. Okay, let's shift over to the heart of the matter. How does our faith influence how we approach food, self-control, and celebration? Galatians 5:22-23 reminds us that self-control is a fruit of the Spirit. This isn't about white-knuckling our way through with discipline and restriction. It's about relying on God's strength to make choices that honor Him and support our well-being. To some, this may sound over the top, but the Bible talks about praying without ceasing. So if you find yourself in a moment feeling pressured and tempted or even getting anxiety about overindulging, take a moment to pause and to pray. Invite God into those spaces and ask Him to give you wisdom and strength. He says that in our weakness, He is strong. This is a time where you can invite Him into those deeper parts and find yourself building new habits, not being stuck in the same holiday binge cycle that you may have experienced in the past. Self-control can cross over into just about every area of life. And in our Americanized Western culture, home of the Big Mac, self-control with food and gluttony aren't often talked about. But Proverbs 23:20-21 warns us against gluttony, not because God doesn't want us to enjoy our food, but because overindulgence can harm us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Gluttony isn't just about eating too much. It's about when you give food too much power over you. So let's be clear. Enjoying a holiday feast does not make you a glutton. God invites us to celebrate His blessings with gratitude. The key is balance. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "There's a time for everything, a season for every activity under the heavens." Feasting and celebrating are biblical. Jesus Himself celebrated at weddings and He shared meals with His disciples. The key is celebrating with gratitude and awareness. Feast with joy, knowing that God has provided for you, and don't let guilt consume you if you enjoy an extra slice of pie. I mean, after all, gratitude is as much a part of health as self-control is. So staying healthy doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself. It's about balance and intentionality. I want to finish this episode with 3 tips to stay balanced and present during the holiday season. So tip number 1 is practice moderation, not deprivation. One of the biggest misconceptions about healthy eating is that you have to completely avoid every unhealthy food. This just isn't true. Research shows that practicing moderation can be more effective for long-term health than extreme restriction. Let's look at a case study. In 2019, a study published by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed participants over the holiday season. Those who practiced moderation, enjoying smaller portions of their favorite treats, while prioritizing nutrient-dense foods, fiber, protein, gained less weight and were more likely to maintain their habits after the holidays compared to those who strictly restricted themselves. Here's how you can do this. Fill half your plate with veggies or salads before adding the heavier items. Choose 1 or 2 indulgent foods that you love, like pumpkin pie, mashed potatoes, and then savor them guilt-free. Eat mindfully, okay? Chew slowly and really enjoy the flavors. Tip number 2 is move together as a family. Physical activity during the holidays doesn't have to mean hitting the gym every day. Family walks after a big meal are a great way to bond, aid digestion, and boost your mood. Families that incorporate a tradition of 30-minute post-dinner walks during the holidays not only avoid that sluggish food coma feeling, but it also becomes a special time for connection. Studies from the Journal of Aging Research highlight how simple, consistent movement like walking improves longevity, it lowers stress, and it supports heart health. So this holiday season, consider suggesting a family walk or even a fun group activity like throwing the football, capture the flag, sand volleyball, or a game of tag with the kids. Tip number 3, don't stress over a few off days. Here's a reality check. 1 or 2 days of indulgence will not derail your progress. Stressing over every calorie can actually do more harm than good. Instead, focus on the bigger picture. As the celebrations are over, you can return back to your usual routine. A helpful mindset is to view your health as a long-term journey. One meal doesn't define your overall health, just like one workout doesn't make you fit overnight. Having grace for yourself is key. So I encourage you to have a wonderful holiday season while being present and balanced. Pray before your meals. Take a moment to thank God for the food and ask for wisdom and strength to have self-control to not overdo it. Set intentional goals. Decide ahead of time what your indulgences are going to be and enjoy them, and then commit to returning back to your normal routine after the holidays. Focus on your relationships. Shift the emphasis from food to connection. Cherish the time spent with loved ones, family, and friends more than what's just on your plate. The holiday season is a beautiful time to celebrate, connect, and reflect on all that God has done. You can enjoy the season, practice self-control, and rest in grace, knowing that one day or even 1 week won't undo all your hard work. I hope this episode has left you feeling encouraged and empowered with some tools that are going to help you navigate the holidays where you're going to have joy and peace. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and maybe share it with a friend. I'd love to know how you stayed happy and healthy during the holiday celebration, so let me know down in the comments below. I wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you again next time.